Thank you for tuning into the Model Connection podcast. I am your host, Eric Harrell. Please like, follow, and subscribe on social media and everywhere you get your podcast. Links are in the description. With us today is a very special guest.
Hi everyone, I'm Kansas Bedford and I am a professional model, an actress, and I'm so excited to be here with the Model Connection podcast.
Kansas Bedford, welcome to the Model Connection podcast. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me.
How did your mom name you Kansas?
Well, I wish I had a really cool story, like maybe I was born there or something, but I'm from Alabama. But my mom wanted to give me a unique name, so if I got in trouble in high school, she knew it was me. Now, if I was a boy, she was going to name me Cody, and I was like, Mom, how are you going to give me Kansas if I was a girl and Cody if I was a boy, you know?
Okay, was your mom one of these people that when you got in trouble, she called you out by your whole name?
Oh, yeah, definitely. She's very Southern, so
Very Southern.
I had to go pick a lot of switches, you know?
Okay. So I know your mom raised you right, as they would say, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Kansas, give me a little background. How long have you been modeling?
So I've been modeling probably the beginning of last year was my first session.
Okay.
And then before that, and well, still now, I do acting mostly.
Acting, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, how did you begin with acting?
So I was on Facebook one day. This was in like 2017, 2018 or so.
Okay.
And I seen a casting call, and I was like, I've always thought of that, but you know, from Alabama, I'm a little one caution light town.
Right,
you don't really think really big. And then I move up to Nashville, and I'm like, oh wait, like I can do this. So I decided to put myself out there, and I started doing. I think I did like 6 or 7 backgrounds on Nashville to begin with, the show Nashville.
Yeah.
And then I started doing music videos, and I've been in quite a few music videos. I've been in the Luke Bryan, Trace Atkins, and Pitbull, and Where the Country Girl's At. And then I've also been in Darius Rucker's, Beers and Sunshine.
Yeah.
Alan Jackson. Now I'm not sure which one that was at, like which one it was, because they filmed the part, but I still haven't seen it or what song it is, so I don't.
Okay.
You know, this was last year. But yeah, I've been in quite a few. I'm just not really. I don't have my whole list. And then I was on Snapped last week. If you know what Snapped is.
That one I do not.
It's on Oxygen. It's kind of like true crime.
Wow.
And that's in Knoxville. That one.
What'd you do to be on true crime?
So on that one, I was a nurse. I didn't hurt nobody. I was a nurse and a cleaning lady.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, now so your acting led to modeling?
Yes. Well, sorta. So I've always kind of been interested in modeling. Like whenever I was young, me and my mom every week we used to watch America's Next Top Model.
So did I. Yes.
Yeah. So I love Tyra Banks, and I always thought, I was like, I want to be a model, but I'm 5'3", and back then when you're watching that, they're all like 6 foot and like super tiny, and I'm like, well, that kind of rules me out because I'm only 5'3".
Nah.
So whenever I moved up here, I have 3 kids, so I kind of lost, my confidence in myself, and I was like, I can't do this. And then I was like, you know what? I seen an ad for a boudoir session, and I was like, you know what? Might as well try it. Maybe it'll help my confidence. So I went to my session. I'm not going to say any names, but where I went was kind of not what I was expecting, and the girl, it was really awkward. There was no music playing. It was just her, and there was cobwebs everywhere, and it just wasn't clean, or you know what I mean? And I'm already in a vulnerable state, and whenever you're kind of awkward as well as me, and I'm half naked,
right.
Just I don't know. But whenever I got my pictures back, they wasn't edited, and it made me feel worse about myself, and I was like, what can I do to not make nobody feel like this, you know?
Right.
So I decided, I was like, I've always taken pictures for fun growing up for my family. And I was like, hey, is anybody interested in letting me, try out a session on them. And so I did it, and then it kind of blew up, and I got overwhelmed. And
Overwhelmed?
oh, yeah. Like, it grew in a 6-month span, like, I started, like, a Facebook group, and it grew to, like, 2,000 women in, like, a short span, and I was constantly booked, but I traveled to Alabama. I didn't do them in Nashville yet because, everything's super expensive up here, so it's kind of hard to find a studio.
Yes, it can be. Yes, yes.
So I traveled there, and I'd have, like, 15 sessions in one weekend, and I just got burnt out, and the ladies weren't as nice to me as, I was given a lot, and I wasn't getting, anything in return. I mean, you're not supposed to do it for that. But it's just, I was giving it at a really good price, and my work was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt like I was selling myself short, basically.
Okay, in your mind, is that what you think went wrong?
Well, yes and no. So, I mean, I kind of, like I said, got burnt out. But then again, I had bigger dreams,
Okay.
Like, I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life. It's fun, but it's a hobby. It's not like something I want to do because I want to do what I love,
Right. Mm-hmm.
So that would be acting, and then now modeling.
Acting.
And modeling
Okay,
is something I learned I love. So here I am.
Here you are. Okay. How do you classify your brand of modeling?
So I would say, I don't know, kind of classic, but I have like an edgy style. Like I'm up for anything except for nudes or anything.
Okay.
But, that's like my limit, or or anything kind of raunchy looking. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just because I'm a mom, and those are going to be
Exactly
on the internet for
3 kids. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't want my kids on the internet one day and then be like, "Oh, mom,"
But the friends' kids, hey, look at Johnny here. What? Is that your mom? Wow.
Right. So. That's my limit. I like doing different things. Like I just did a session like in the laundromat, and like I loved it because it's something you don't see all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like doing things that are kind of out of the box, or pretty much anything right now that's not nude or anything.
What are you most comfortable with doing as far as your modeling?
Probably face, like just portraits
Okay.
or something like that.
Headshot, makeup, modeling,
Right.
hair modeling.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So things like that. I'm just still in the process of loving myself. I've became a whole like different person doing this, and I'm so thankful for it because it made me find myself outside of being a mom. Like once you become a mom, people kind of have like this image that you're supposed to do this. You're supposed to work this certain job or act this certain way, and from where I'm from.
Right.
And I just wanted to show my daughter that you don't have to listen to what everybody thinks that you should do. You should do what makes you happy.
If you look at a lot of the models, many of them are moms.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not by yourself, okay? It's just basically you do what you are comfortable with. And as everybody knows, once it's out there, you can't take it back. Okay?
Right, exactly.
So you've got to be comfortable. You've got to be confident with what you are doing because, as we just mentioned, little Johnny's friends may see it someday,
Right.
It's going to be out there, Okay, so what really enticed you to get started in modeling?
So I seen a model call on a Nashville girls group.
Okay.
And it was for a boudoir session. And I was
Okay.
like, okay, maybe this time will be different because I love the girl's work. Her name is Taylor.
Okay.
I think her last name is Gladhill, but her work is amazing.
Okay.
And so she was looking for models, and I went and done it. And then I was like, that's me? Like, once I see myself in that different light, I'm just like, wow, like I can do it.
Yes.
And just since then, I fell in love. So it just made me a different person, but in a good way, like more confident, more outspoken, and more sure of myself, like in everyday aspects of my life.
That comment leads directly to my next question. Your perception of modeling before you started,
Mm-hmm.
and your perception of modeling now,
Mm-hmm.
is it different? And if so, how?
Yes and no. So like I said, I always thought you had to be like 6 foot tall and like super skinny to be a model. But now since doing it, I've realized that you don't have to be perfect. You can just be yourself because everybody's unique and everybody has a different look. And it doesn't matter if this person doesn't think you're beautiful. This person will think you're beautiful. As long as you think you're beautiful and, you have the confidence to get up there, then who's to tell you that you're not, you know?
Exactly right. Yes. Okay. And then your modeling has taught you about yourself that you are more confident?
Oh, yeah, definitely so. That's definitely something I've struggled with my whole life.
Why?
Just family problems, like growing up in a household where, people just put you down and, so things like that growing up kind of makes you think that you're not good enough or that you're not pretty enough. But once I moved out of my small town, I realized, it doesn't matter what they say because like the Taylor Swift song, "One Day I'll Be Living in a Big Old City and All You're Ever Gonna Be Is Mean." And I love that song because it's true. You don't get anywhere being mean to people,
Right.
or putting people down. So, I mean,
Is that kind of like your theme song, you might say?
Oh, pretty much. Yeah, I guess so. I guess you'd say that from everybody, like from where I'm from. But yeah, I'd say that. I'd say so.
You've only been modeling 1 year, shall we say. Where do you want Kansas Bedford to be 1 year from right now?
On a billboard. In a magazine.
In a magazine.
On TV.
Hey, anything is possible, okay?
Right. So that's what I'm trying to do. Every day I'm trying to, market myself and trying to do work just so I can stay involved and stay in it, and not get like have doubt, like if things start slowing down, because that's also like a thing here in Nashville. It's kind of hard finding a lot of modeling gigs, that pay, or just because we are a small area compared to like Los Angeles and everywhere else.
I do know that there are peaks and valleys in our craft. And you just take those valley times to practice,
right?
Work on your posing, networking. Okay,
yes, that's a big one.
Networking is always a big one. Billboard, magazines. You said 1 year that's what you want to be in. The Billboard, magazines. Why is that important to you?
Because I can finally say I came from like nothing, and now I'm on, like, you see my face everywhere. So
hey, all right.
that's what I want. I want people that where I grew up.
Yeah.
To see that you don't have to. Literally, I'm not trying to say anything bad.
Sure, go ahead.
But like from where I'm from, you either work in a factory or you're a nurse or a teacher or something like that. And like literally almost everybody I graduated with, that's what they're doing. And I want, people to dream big. Like you don't have to, a lot of people, that's what they wanted to do because that's what their parents did. And a lot of people have come to me and they're like, seeing you has inspired me to want to like try to do something too. And that also makes me feel good because like I'm doing what I want to do. Like I'm helping people understand that you don't have to do that. If you want to do something, you can do it.
Awesome. I've always heard that we live in the Bible Belt.
Oh, yeah.
I guess Bible Belt goes all the way to the Gulf of Mexico, I guess maybe. How are you looked at in your mind because you chose to be a model?
I don't know. That's kind of like a hard question because, I do care, but then again, I'm trying to get to that point where I don't care because, your opinion doesn't pay my bills.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Amen.
And so, like, if it makes you happy, I don't see a problem with it. I know that some of the pictures that I posted, like I have a boudoir picture, but you literally can't see anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a onesie with a, what is it called? Like a shirt you're wearing, like a button up, like just a regular
Yes.
button up.
A blouse, you might say.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Okay.
And it didn't show nothing more than a bathing suit at all. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I was completely covered up. And my father messaged me and, like, went off about it. And
Really?
yes. And I was like, it makes me happy. And I like that picture. And I'm proud of that picture.
Yes.
So I'm not going to take it down. Like, he told me to take it off Facebook or whatever. And I was like, I'm not doing it. I mean, I'm sorry, but I don't see anything wrong with it. If I was to post a 2-piece, I would show more, like in a bathing
Exactly
suit.
right.
So,
Exactly right.
I've gotten to the point where I'm getting to where I don't care.
Is your family behind you, or are they?
Everybody but him, yeah.
Everybody behind him?
Yeah.
Huh. Wow. Okay, how will a dad feel? Son be happy? Yeah, that's my daughter. Yeah. Yeah. And other times, well, kind of wish you hadn't done this, You.
Oh, yeah.
So,
That's him.
well, as you mentioned before, this is your life. You can do what you want to now.
Mm-hmm.
You're not under daddy's roof.
Right.
So you've got to basically pay your bills.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody pays them for you. And if you can model and in your mind do it respectfully,
Exactly.
who's to say otherwise, okay?
Mm-hmm. That's where I'm at now.
Good deal. Good girl. What was your... I think you probably touched on this before. Your first photo shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm, like you remember it. Okay.
Yeah.
What was your first photo shoot like?
Awkward.
Awkward.
Awkward. Very awkward.
In what ways?
So I guess the angles like she was putting me in and just the mood of it. Like whenever I did my boudoir pictures, like I gave them a glass of wine,
Mm-hmm.
and then I played, like, asked them what their favorite music was, and then I had like a playlist set
Right.
on whatever music they like, and played music, and I'd hype them up while they're doing it. Like, oh my gosh, like, yes, look at this. And, I'd show them and stuff, but she was real like, like just awkward taking them, didn't really talk that much,
Mm-hmm.
just didn't, I don't know, like empower you during
Mm-hmm.
it. Like I didn't feel empowered at all. I felt awkward. So that's why I was like, no, I don't feel like this is how it should go.
Okay.
And whenever I started my own, I just incorporated what not to do and learned from that. And then I guess that's how it blew up the way that it did. So, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now that also leads into this one. You spending time in front of the camera, it helped you know behind the camera what to look for,
Right.
and vice versa. You spending time behind the camera, it helped you coach or do posing better because you knew what the photographer looked for,
Mm-hmm.
angles and stuff like that.
Right. I definitely think it helped me out in that aspect of it. Just like what you said, I see on my side, and I know like posing and stuff that looks good on camera,
Mm-hmm.
and like what posing doesn't look good on camera.
Right.
But it also has been an adjustment because I can't see myself, and I'm like, I know what to do, but am I in the right angle for your camera angle? You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
yes. Yes.
it's just a little struggle right there, but I'm learning.
I'm sure you're doing fine. Doing fine. The photographer aspect compared to the model aspect.
Mm-hmm.
You said you got burned out on the photography
Yes.
part of it. Did you enjoy it more and you just pushed yourself hard and that caused you to get burned out, or?
So I'm the type of person whenever I do things, like I go all in.
Okay.
Like my sessions, I did the hair and the makeup because I'm a makeup artist as well.
Oh, well, you did it all then.
Yes, I did the
No
hair,
wonder you got burned out.
makeup, I provided the wardrobe, and I did the edits and, the wine or whatever, and I only charged $200 for all of that just because I wasn't doing it for the money. I was doing it, to empower ladies because that's something that me and my mom lacked my whole life, how we grew up together. So, I did it to help women, but then it kind of, it came back to me in a negative way. So.
Okay. I'm trying to figure this up in my mind. Hair, makeup, photography, $200.
And some women even complained that was too much.
You gotta be kidding me.
No. Yeah.
Support your local photographer, please.
I'll show you some of my work in a minute.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. So, one question that I desperately want to ask you. Has your modeling taught you something about yourself that you did not already know beforehand?
Yes, that I can have confidence and that I can be something outside of just being a mom, and that it put me in situations that I was uncomfortable in, and I feel like you need uncomfortable situations to help you grow in life, and just putting myself out there over and over again, it just makes me grow and makes me more confident, and I basically feel like I can take on the world.
When you are a model, you have got to be confident, okay?
Right.
And you've got to be thick-skinned. Because even though you are a beautiful young lady, not everybody is going to like your images.
Right.
There's going to be somebody that will just nitpick every image you post and find something wrong with, okay? And just don't let it get to you, okay?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, which
Don't
I have recently, so.
Don't let it get to you, okay?
I won't. I'm not going to let it get to me.
Do not let it get to you. And as you said, you brought some images with you, so I think it's time that we view those images.
Okay.
So, the first one that we're going to look at on the monitor is... That is a beautiful shot now, Kansas.
Thank you.
Beautiful shot. What can you tell me?
So we were going for a Dita Van. Oh my goodness, I forgot her last name. She's a older model. It's like a moody type look.
Okay.
Bold eyes and bold lips, but the rest kind of not as like hard. I don't know how you would say it. But this was taken by a guy named Jason with, I think it's JHR Images in Clarksville.
Okay.
They're out of the Press building.
Okay.
And I absolutely loved him and his team. They are amazing people, and he does amazing work. This is just one of the images that I got, and this was taken 2 days ago.
Wow.
And so I'm waiting on the rest of the images. But just this first one that he showed me, I was like, wow.
And the makeup was done by you?
Yes, sir.
You did a very good job because you do not look plastic.
Thanks.
You look real. I mean, you just look natural, okay?
Thank you.
And that's what we look for in models. We want the natural look. Or should I say, in my opinion, we want the natural look, okay?
Right.
Okay, now. Next one. Laundromat photo.
Yes. I love this photo. I love this session in general just because it's different, and I love the colors in the background, and it's like, I don't know how to explain it. Oh, this is hard explaining. I just wanted to basically it to be like kind of Nashville-y with my outfit, but also in the laundromat. I don't know. But this was taken by a guy named Jericho, And he is, I think this is Jericho Photos on
Okay.
Instagram.
Okay. Okay.
But he was really nice to work with. He was also like a really fast photographer, and I like that as well. Like when they know what angles and they know, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like they just go in there and get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I actually, a lady from this shoot, when I was doing it, during it, she brought up a jumpsuit, and she's like, I think you'd look really cute in this. I was like, oh, thank you. So I got a free jumpsuit out of it too.
Wow. Okay.
And then this one was actually taken right over here last week
Okay.
by Black Owl Photography. His name is Daniel.
Okay.
And he was really good to work with too. We had new concepts that like we wanted to do. And so we came up with an outfit. We kind of wanted to go for like a more edgy, like skatery sort of type look, but still like dark and moody, I guess you'd say.
Am I right in thinking possibly a grunge look?
Yes, that's it. That's the word.
Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry. It kind of slipped my mind. I couldn't think of it.
Hey, well, some people call it grunge. Some of just say, no, that's not grunge. It's far from it. It's not grunge. So
Right.
I
No,
wanted to
that
ask
was
first.
definitely it.
Okay.
And then that was it as well. So I took a photo of one of my friends last year whenever I was just getting started, and hers, I did one with smoke. So I wanted to recreate that in a way, but make it look different. And so this was actually taken in y'all's parking garage too, also by Black Owl.
Wow. Okay.
And yeah, so that was real smoke. And I really like it because it just has like, you can see the light on my face. So you can just, see my lips and just the points of my face along with the background. I really think that's pretty.
Okay.
And then this was my boudoir session by Taylor. Taylor Gladhill. I think hers is Wanderlust Photography, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
But yeah, I really like this picture because it just shows my makeup, and then like it's more like a sensual look, but it also doesn't show, anything. So I like that one as well.
In boudoir, that, in my opinion, is a very, very tame image. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Very tame.
Yeah, I mean, this one isn't bad. The other one
it's
shows
not.
a little bit more, but it's still the same outfit. So, like, you can't see anything. I'm sitting on the floor.
Okay, now, and this is not one that your dad went all ballistic on, is it?
No, not that one.
Okay, good. Because I was going to say.
The other one's on my Facebook, though.
Okay. Kansas, those are some very good images. Thank you for bringing them, okay? You've done great work in just a short period of time. You should be proud of yourself.
Thank you.
When looking for a photographer to work with, do you have any criteria that you use?
Oh, yeah.
And that is what?
So, whenever they message me or reach out, I always go to their social media. I go through, their page to make sure, like, what they post is something that, like, I line up with. You know what I mean? Like, if you're posting something about, like, shooting people or something like that, like, I'm not gonna, I don't want to shoot with you. But I look at their followers. I look at their previous work, and then, like I said, I always look at if it's raunchy or not. I don't know how to say that.
Right, yes.
But I had this guy message me from one of the groups not too long ago, and he was wanting me to do a music video. And I told him my daughter had a music video that day starting at 3. And I was like, what time does it start? I don't know. And, like, I had looked at some of his stuff, but I was in a rush. And then he sent me a message, and he was like 8, 9, or 10. And I was like, hold up, red flag. Because if you're a legit photographer or a music video production, like, you have a call time. Like, you have to be there at that time. And it was just odd to me that he threw out 3 different times, and then I didn't respond to him, and then he sent me an Airbnb. And I still didn't respond to him. And then he sent me another message that had the address. So, like, I wound up blocking him because I was like, you know, you're trying too hard to get me to a place that's an Airbnb. You don't have a set time. And then I went and listened to the music. And, yeah, it was talking about, like, drugs, and it referred to women as not good names. And just shooting people and all kinds of stuff. And I was like, you know, I don't want my name to...
A gangster video, you might say. Okay.
Yeah. And it just wasn't my forte, you know. So I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then I've had quite a couple of people in my inbox as well that I obviously said on there, I don't want to shoot nude.
Mm-hmm.
But then they tried to, like, basically do, like, not implied nude, but, like, oh, do boudoir. But I go to their pictures and it's like whips and chains, booty up in the air. Like, I mean, like, just, you know what I'm saying? Like, not classy boudoir. And,
not your style.
Right. Not my style. You know, there's nothing wrong with that style. But, you know, like, I have a certain style that, like, I want to do. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to cross over into that, you know?
You've done one thing that a lot of models always recommend: research.
Oh, yeah. I also have, like, a people checker website, so if I'm real sketch, I'll look up them.
Hey,
you can never be too careful.
Okay. Whatever works, okay.
Right. So I have been known to do that too, just, you know, just for safety precautions.
I've heard, I'll go on and say horror stories that has happened to models. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I am a proponent in model safety. Okay. So you can honestly never be too cautious. All right.
Right. I mean, even on, like, during your photo shoots, like, I just did a photo shoot, the one I was telling you about here.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I was on the roof, and there was this guy walking the street. I'm pretty sure he was high. And he starts screaming at me and yelling, and I thought he was telling me I couldn't be up there. And, like, I was like, what, sir? Like, what? And, like, he starts cussing at me, like, going off, like, cussing, just acting crazy. And these other guys said something to him, but, like, he walked around the building, like, away from the building I was on. And whenever we got done with my photo shoot, as we were walking off of the, like, going to get on the elevator at the parking garage, mm-hmm. he pops up out of the elevator saying I stole his shine. And I was like, oh, what? Yes. And the security guard, like, luckily was, like, walking up to him at the same time he was walking out. And then he seen the security guard and he turned around real quick and took off. So we had to walk down the stairs instead of taking the elevator because, like, you know, you can never be too careful because there's some crazy people.
True.
Yeah, so Nashville's crazy, too. Very crazy.
It can be in certain areas, okay?
Right. I got shot at not too long ago. Yeah.
No.
Okay, so I DoorDash every now and then, too.
Okay.
You know, I do like 10 different things. I'm also in real estate school. So I like staying busy. So I just doing some door dashing, and then I go into this little neighborhood. It's kind of close to the lake, Percy Priest.
Okay.
And the next thing I know, as I'm delivering something, I hear pop, 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 pop. And I'm like looking around. I'm like, what is that? And then, like, I hear bullets like going by me. So I took off running and I fell. And I cut my leg. I have, like, a big scar now on my leg that's this long. Yes. And the police, they're like, well, unfortunately, some people they just do things like that, and they just shoot, not thinking nobody's there. And I'm like, I literally felt like I was somebody's target practice. Like, what do you mean? And then just crazy stuff. Like, it was...
my gosh.
Yeah, so I was super thankful. The only thing that crossed my mind was zigzag. Because, you know, like they say, whenever you get shot at to zigzag, I was like,
right. It's hard to hit a moving the target, okay?
Right. So I fell off that lady's porch, but I'm safe, so that's all that counts.
I never dreamed of that, I swear.
Yeah, it's crazy. Nashville's crazy.
Whoa.
Oh, I got plenty of stories, but I keep you here all night with them.
Hey, we got time here. Come on. Okay, tell me about your best modeling story.
My best modeling, probably that, honestly.
That one?
I mean, it really was because it was just like a shock. Like, you know what I mean? And like, you're not expecting because he was walking the completely opposite way. And then next thing you know, he just pops up out of nowhere. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Saying I stole his shine. I was like, I didn't steal nothing from you. I promise.
That could be your best and your most awkward story, too.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Is there anything you wished that a mentor or someone in the business could have told you before you got started that you now know?
Well, probably back in, high school, I would have wished that somebody, would have came to our little bitty town and was like, hey, like, you can actually model. Like, that's a legit job. Or, you can do something like that. I wish somebody would have told me that instead of here I am 28 years old trying to get started. But, it's never too late. It doesn't matter.
It is, honestly, you are correct. It is never too late. It is really difficult to convince a young lady in a little town to have some unknown photographer to them take their picture because they think, okay, what is this guy up to?
Right. Oh, I take that back. I did a modeling thing when I was like 17. I just remembered whenever you said that.
Okay.
Yeah. His name was Kevin Lanier, and he's from Alexander City. He is amazing at what he does. He's been a photographer like probably 20 years.
Okay.
But whenever I was a senior, my mom didn't have like a lot of money for me to be able to take senior pictures.
Right.
So I just wound up modeling for him, and he took probably one of my most favorite pictures back then of me. I'm like laying down, and then I have I'm blowing bubbles, and just the lighting and the bubbles, and it's just so cute, for a senior picture.
Yeah.
But I love them, and I wish back then he would have been like, you can do this for a job, but I didn't think it was possible till I moved into a big city, and I'm super glad I did.
Anything is possible if you
Right.
want it bad enough, okay?
Right.
It really and truly is. So, Kansas, you have been in Nashville how long now?
Since 2014.
Since 2014, okay. And you only started actively pursuing modeling within the last year.
Yes, sir.
I really believe you have got a bright future ahead of you. You've just got to get your name out there, get your face out there. And I am really hoping that being a guest on the Model Connection podcast will do that for you. I love having models on here that are looking to get started. Just don't know how to get started, okay?
Right.
And many times they don't know how. They just don't know the who, what's, when, where's, why's, all
Right.
of that good stuff.
Can I touch on something?
Sure,
real quick
go
that
ahead.
You just made me remember too.
Okay.
So that was the other thing I was gonna say, that getting an agency or an agent, or like getting through one of those. I wish somebody would have told me earlier that like that's the way to go. So yeah, I'm waiting on those images to get back so I can send them into all the agencies around here and then around the tri-states. So
Right.
I wish I would have done that earlier.
Yeah. It is actually never too late, okay?
Right.
Never too late. I always give our guests an opportunity to speak what's on their mind. If they've got a topic that they feel is brushed under the rug and not spoke about as much as it should be, a topic that is very close to you. It could be anything model related, photography related, anything even personal health related, anything that you feel should be talked about that is not. Do you have anything like that on your mind right now?
Probably just to tell people, like, be nice, because you never know what people are going through. I feel like that nowadays it's harder for people to be nice because of all the bad things that are happening. But I believe in being positive and always having those positive affirmations, and just keep, like, even if a negative thing happens, like, oh, I'm late. Well, you know what? Thank you, because I could have gotten a wreck. You know, I just try to think of things like that. Like,
Right.
even if it didn't work out this way, there's a reason for it. I really, truly believe that everything happens for a reason. Because if, you know, like I said, if you were late, then you could have gotten a wreck, or something bad could have happened. So I try not to stress over spilt milk, I guess you'd say.
Right.
And just look at the bigger picture, because, I mean, we're all here for one thing, and that's to love one another, and that's it. I mean,
Real quick, peer pressure. Do you feel pressure from other models, or do you feel pressure from yourself, or do you feel peer pressure from us, the photographers?
I don't know. That's kind of a tough one. I feel like, I mean, I don't know if this is kind of like the way I should, like, I can answer it, but like when I get on Instagram, for instance, comparing yourself to other people is only going to make things worse for you. So I try to stay off of Instagram, because I also have to remind myself, like, most things that you see on there aren't real. You know, I've seen plenty of Photoshops, like, before and after, of, like, celebrities and stuff, but, like, stop comparing yourself to other people, because you're beautiful the way you are.
Right.
And you don't have to look a certain way to be beautiful, you know?
Right.
And so that's, like, a big thing of mine, but I feel like we compare ourselves to people on the internet, or at least, like, I know I used to before I started modeling and stuff, because, like, I'd see, you know, like I said, I have 3 kids. I'm 28. So my body isn't, you know, like America's Next Top Model. And so whenever I see that, I used to be like, you know, like, I'll never have that. But I'm like, you know what? I got stretch marks, but I'm still beautiful. And I can show other women that they're beautiful, even if they have stretch marks. It doesn't make you less beautiful of a person. It just makes you have more character, and makes you,
True.
you know,
Exactly
your
right.
own
Yes.
person.
Exactly right. Okay. For the people out there that are wanting to reach out to you, what are your social media handles?
So my Facebook is just Kansas Bedford, and my Instagram is Kansas Nicole Bedford, and it's Kansas like the state. I always have to tell people that, because if not, they'll think I'm saying Candace. But Kansas Nicole Bedford, that's my public profile.
Okay.
I try to keep my public and then my personal, because it has my kids on there.
Kansas, you have been just a delight to talk to. I am so proud to have you here in the studio talking to me. I really believe you are going to have a very bright future ahead of you. You did not get started too late, okay?
Thank you.
You did not.
Thank you.
I mean, I honestly think you've got a really bright future ahead of you. I want this podcast to help you get your name out there, get your face out there, and give you the opportunity that I think you deserve, okay?
Thank you for having me. I really enjoy it.
So, Kansas, with that being said, thank you for being here. You have been just an awesome young lady, okay?
Thank you. You're a great host, and you ask great questions. So I hope that somebody learned something from it.
They will. I am positive of that, okay? Thank you, Kansas.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for tuning into the Model Connection podcast. Please like, follow, and subscribe on social media and everywhere you get your podcast. Links are in the description. Thank you, and bye-bye.